What's good, everybody? Antayami here, back with another video, and in today's video it's gonna be the new White Forest Alliance Insight list that I'm going to be working on. This is going to be version number 1, and I've been having a lot of success with this so far. There's some things that I'm going to probably end up changing, and unfortunately I'm not very happy that how big the deck size is, but I wanted to cram in as much stuff as I possibly can and see how, how things work out and stuff like that. So I'm going to go over all the card by cards for the cards that are new in the deck, and we'll go from there. I'll showcase off one card combo that this deck received with the fill spell. That is really cool. And I'm splashing this with the Regenesis package because I don't know why I love the Regenesis package. I don't think it's like super crazy or anything like that. It's definitely probably cuttable, but I wanted to play a non-Fiend Smoke version of White Forest featuring the Regenesis cards. So all right, let's go ahead and hop into the card by card here. This is the deck list, of course. Again, yeah, it's a 50 card pile deck. I'm not proud of it, but I'm testing it with all the maximum capacities of the deck because I want to try out every little thing, what it can do, how it can bridge into each other, and we will go from there. All right, well, first of all, let's go ahead and talk about the Regenesis package here because I feel like this is probably the cards that a lot of people probably don't know what they do. So this is Regenesis Archfiend, which is basically your primary starter of the Regenesis engine. It's really strong. Basically, it special summon itself by revealing a monster with 25 attack or defense. Then on summon, it searches for any Regenesis card. So it can search for the spells, it can search for traps, it can search for other monster effects. It's very good. This is your main starter. And another thing you'll note that all the Regenesis monsters, they add back on your opponent's end phase if they are sent that turn. So they have to be sent on your opponent's turn for them to float back into your hand as more follow-up and pressure. So keep that in mind. For the next monster, we have Valkyria, which is basically your kind of like your spell and trap banish removal. It doesn't negate or anything like that. It just banish removal by attributing itself. And the rest of the monsters are going to be summoned if you control a monster with 25 attack or defense. The Archfiend is the only one that summons from the hand like that. The rest of them summons from the hand by you controlling a monster with 25 attack or defense. That also includes your opponent, so keep that in mind too for going second. If your opponent controls a monster with 25 attack or defense, original attack or defense, then they can just summon out themselves for free. So really cool. So this one, again, it banishes a spell by attributing itself, and again on end phase it will float back up. So that's pretty much what it does. And then you have Berkshi, I guess how you say his name, I have no idea. His effect is basically you can tribute himself, and he's a compose for monsters that your opponent controls. So pretty cool on that. And then this one, which is probably my favorite, the fact that it's a spellcaster is really cool. I don't think it's going to come up anymore as a spellcaster because I did cut a card that I used to play back in Suda, but we're just testing it. And again, it has the same summoning requirements, but the difference with this card is it's a Omni negate by sending another Regenesis card from your hand or field. So very cool. And this is going to be very important because we're going to actually protect a lot of our plays if we start with the Regenesis package. So that's it for all the monsters that we were playing. And then for the spell, we're only playing this one spell. This is Regenesis, and basically this is the Rhoda of the deck. It can also flourish Burial, but most of the time we're going to use it for its Rhoda effect. It can add any monster with attack 25 attack or 25 defense. It has to be both. Okay, so I haven't really looked up any other cards that shares both of those qualities, but Maybe in the future I will look into it, but I wanted to focus mostly on just the Regenesis package. So this is just a rotor for that, or Flourish Burial. And then, except for the term that this card was sent there, you can actually banish it, and then it becomes a monster reborn for your Regenesis monsters, which is really, really cool. And that's how you're gonna keep your resource looping and your follow-up going as well. So it's really strong. So that's gonna be it for the Regenesis package. Going into the White Forest cards, or some of the newer White Forest cards that we are playing in this particular deck. We're playing 3 Witches of the White Forest. Now, when I first read this card, I was like, oh my god, this card is really insane. It's really broken. And I still think that. But on activation, you can add 1 White Forest monster from your deck to your hand. And if you do, you cannot special summon dark monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit more once we get into the combos and stuff. But this restriction only applies when you search. So that cuts off all your Azamina monsters in your extra deck, which is going to be very important to note, right? But if you activate this card and you don't search, then you're not locked underneath the restrictions. If this card gets Ash Blossom or things of that nature, then the restriction doesn't apply. So that's what's up. The other effect is that you can target any of your White Forest monsters and you can turn it into a tuner. That won't come up too much. There's probably different variations you can play with, like toys or things of that nature, that will probably make this effect a lot better. But in this current version, it will probably never come up. And then also extra bonus with this card is that White Forest monsters you control will be protected by battle once. Which actually I won a game because I was at like, I think 400 attack or 400 life points after my opponent like dived into me, and I lived, and I was like, oh snap, and then I brought it back. So it was really, really good because the Regenesis monsters came back, and then I just kind of went from there. I went against the new version of Monarchs, which was really, really cool. So yep. But yes, that's really awesome. This card is really, really insane. Again, we're going to showcase the 1-card combo with this card. And then we pretty much know all the old White Forest stuff. We're not going to go over that. But there's 4 more cards we're going to go over. And we're going to go over the Diabell Stars, the Sin Adjusticator. There's a lot to talk about this card because this card is actually more insane the more and more I play with this card. This card is crazy. It's really, really good. So this card is always treated as a simple spoils card, which is also very amazing. This is basically our replacement with the Queen Azamina. I feel like there's a version or a world that we could probably play Queen Azamina because there's a really cool extra deck card that goes really well with Queen Azamina. I haven't tested that yet, but I wanted to focus on the Adjusticator because she is insane. So the way you summon her is that you have to banish a spell or a trap from your hand or graveyard to special summon her. Which there's a combo that can get you into the requirements for the summoning of this card, which is really strong. But the cool effect is, because this is an inboard piece, quick effect, you can pay half your life points, then target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if another Diabell Star monster is on the field, you can special summon 1 illusion or spellcaster tuner monster from your extra deck. So a couple things to note. This card has to destroy the target. You can't just like target something and then something else happens and the card gets removed. It has to destroy to summon monsters from the extra deck, which is really, really good. And also it has to control another Diabell's monster, which we have plenty of Diabell monsters that we can lock on the inboard with this card, which is really, really good. And yes, also it can also summon from the graveyard or from the hand. So there's gonna be combos where we're gonna send this card as a simple spoils card to resolve your Azamina cards, and then you will summon this card from the graveyard to get more value, which is so much. It's so cool, so cool. Then on the next card we have our Diabell's the White Witch. This card is always treated as a White Forest card, so that's how you get access with it with the White Forest cards. Monsters you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects if you control 2 or more Diabell Star monsters. This card is also part of your inboard, which I have so many people rageking me. I have so many people like trying to pop my monsters, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then they freeze for a second and they scoop because they realize that they just went neg, and I have tons of interruptions. So keep that in mind as well. When this card is normaled or special summoned, it's a foolish burial for any Diabells or Sinful Spells card. And the card that we're going to talk about next is the prime target for this card. But I'm sure you could probably use it for other means. Like you could probably dump Wanted, or you know, you possibly use it also with play the Diabells and like a Diabells. But I don't play those cards. I think those cards are kind of mid. So yeah, but that's all it does. And it also acts like a White Forest monster where you can send a spell from your field or hand to special summon this card. So it's great for extension. It's good for part of the combo as well. So very strong card. And for the trap card, we have Curse of the Diabells. Now this card, you'll probably never resolve the on-field effect. I don't see a world where you can really do that, but you probably could. If you control 2 or more Diabell monsters, you can send 1 monster you control to the graveyard, destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls, which is a really strong effect, but setting that up is a lot harder than what it seems. And we're not trying to go out our way to set that up as an interruption because it's just not like worth it in my personal opinion. But the most important effect is if this card is sent to the graveyard or if it's banished, you can send, or sorry, you can add 1 Diabell spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And this right here is going to search out our next combo piece, which is going to be Phyllis Diabells, which it has the main effect where it can add a level 8 or higher Diabells monster from your deck to your hand. Or for going second, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no other monsters, it has to be basically the only spell card you activate, you have no monsters, you can special summon them instead. It'll rarely come up, but it can come up. If this card is banished, you can make all your Diabells monsters you currently control 500 attack, and it's a permanent boost. And the reason why that's cool is because you're going to have Diabells, the Synchro 8, you're going to have both of the other new level 8 monsters on board, and then you're going to boost all your monsters up to 3,000. It just makes it a little bit harder for them to beat over and a lot harder to just like deal with in general. So that's just a really cool bonus. But again, the main bonus is this is our main searchers to search out for our Sand Adjusticator to get our inboard pieces put together. And then of course, the reason why I think Regenesis works really well in this deck is because you have so many base 25 attack monsters. You have Diabells, you have Justicator, you have Black Witch. Of course, you got the entire Regenesis package, which kind of feeds off themselves. And there's so many ways you can search into your monsters, even your X deck monsters, like your Snake Eyes Execute Dragon. And you also have your, where is she? Oh yeah, your Diabells right here as well. Unfortunately, none of your Sinful Spells or your Azamina monsters have those kind of like cool points where you can just go deception into hollow summon a monster and then get your Regenesis package on board. But you can summon Arcielago. Arcielago can technically search you into a 25, so that's also something to note. But going back into the extra deck, I'm not finished yet, sorry. We have Snake Eyes Execute Dragon, which is our new Synchro 12 that we're going to be using as an interruption on our opponent's turn. It takes a tuner or a non-tuner. It's completely generic, which is amazing. During the main phase, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster on the field or in either player's graveyard and place it into the opponent's or the owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. And it has like this kind of like this Fallen Albaz Mirror Jade effect where you can only use that effect only once per turn, like once per turn, and you can't use it again the next turn, but you can use it again after that. And it's like that, just like kind of like turn 1, turn 3, turn 5 effect type deal. Because if you could use this card, that effect once per turn, this card would have been cracked. This is insane. And then the next effect, during the battle phase only, quick effect, you could target 2 cards, 1 monster, and then 1 continuous spell and destroy them, which very strong effect. And again, you can destroy any monster or any continuous spell. So if your opponent activates a continuous spell and then they summon a monster and they go in the battle phase, you can pop both their monsters, or vice versa, or any combination of the thing. So it's really good. Really, really strong card. I really like it a lot. And then next we have our Mystic Mystery of the White Forest, which is basically like Poplar, like evolving into something. I don't know, but it looks cool. It's also generic, and the main way you're going to summon this card is off of your Diabell's effects. So that's just how that goes. If this card is special summon, you can target 2 White Forest monsters in the graveyard and place them face up into your owner's spell and trap zone as continuous spells. So basically, you'll activate Adjudicator's effect, pop a card. If you control the Diabell star monsters, you can summon this one. This one is going to spell and trap 2 of your White Forest cards, can help you facilitate your Execution Dragon, or it can help you execute your Diabell's effect by sending your White Forest monsters as spells, which is really cool. Then on top of that, during your opponent's main phase, quick effect, you can immediately synchro after this card resolve. So that's how you get into your Execute Dragons, because all the monsters you control on the board, or usually on the end board, are all level 8s. So we're going to actually summon the Execute Dragon on your opponent's turn. It's going to have that spell and trap effect where it pushes cards, and then it has the other bonus effect to pop. So it's going to be like a ton of interruptions on a board that it doesn't seem like it should do that much. But with all that being said and all the new cards out the way, let's go ahead and showcase off the 1-card combo. All right. So this is the 1-card combo that I want to show off, and I'm only going to show this off right now. I'll probably end up showing matches of this deck once it hits, when I have time to post it and stuff like that, because I'm still learning a lot of the combos. But I want to leave you guys off with this like new cool combo, and let's go ahead and get started. Right. So we're going to activate Witches of the White Forest. We're going to activate the effect to search for Azet here. After that, we're going to use Azet's effect to send the Witches of the White Forest to summon itself, adding the Sylvie. Normal summon Sylvie, activating the effect of Sylvie. Sylvie is going to search us our Legends of the White Forest, or Tales. Then after that, we're going to go into Synchro 6. Synchro 6 is going to activate the effect to send the Tales. And then we're going to search for the Azamina Azet. Tales is going to reset itself here. Then next, we're going to activate Tales. Tales is going to search our new Diabells of the White Witch. Activate the effect of Azamina Azet. This is going to be summon number 4. And then summon number 5 is going to be our Diabells here. And then we're going to trigger 1 Azet Azamina. Trigger number 2 is going to be Diabells. Diabells is going to add back our Tales. And then this is going to add our Deception. Next, we're going to activate Deception. Then we're going to activate Sylvie. Sylvie is going to spin back our Synchro. And then next, we're going to activate Deception to tribute Sylvie. Then we're going to add our Debtors. And the reason why we're adding Debtors here is because we're going to still get access to our Azamina stuff, but we're going to do it on our opponent's turn, which is how it's going to be now. When you start with the field spell. There's other ways that you can actually beat this restriction, but in this particular combo, and this is what I think Konami wants us to do with the newer White Forest stuff. You can still play Azamina, but your inboard will just be different. So then next, we're going to go into our Diabells of the White Witch, and we're going to send this, activate the effect, and then we're going to dump our Curse. Curse effect is going to search us our Phyllis of the Diabells. Then after that, we're going to activate it, and then we're going to search our Justicator. Then after that, we're going to activate the effect of Justicator. We're going to banish the trap, and then we're going to banish the Phyllis. And we're going to activate the effect of Phyllis to just boost all our monsters because, you know, bonus. This technically should have been in attack, but whatever. And we're going to set 1 here. And this is our Emperor. So, hey! So yes, this is going to be our inboard here. It does not look like a lot, but let's just go over the interruptions here, just in case if you guys don't know what's going on here. So of course you got your Diabells, that is still Diabells, right? You send a spell or trap, which is going to probably be this. If you activate this, you can actually go into your level 4 and you can put the White Forest monsters back and then go from there. This is like basically at this point just protection. So they can't be destroyed by card effects here, which is just cool protection. Then you have this where this card will pop a card on the board, and then this is going to summon a monster from your extra deck that's a tuner, and go from there. So this actually can summon out Arcia. This can also summon out, of course, the White Forest, Mystery of the White Forest, and you can still summon out Cervera, which is really cool. So basically, both of these monsters are going to summon both of them from the extra deck. And then you also have Debtors that on in-phase Deception is going to come back. So you still have the options to go into your 2s, your 2 Azaminas. So you can still go into Saint Azamina if necessary. You can still go into your Souls here. Regina if you want to go into Regina here. You can go into Arcielago for follow-up, or you can go for this for an Omni Negate. So you still have all those options there. And then yeah, and then on top of that you have the Execute Dragon once you go into this, synchro into this, and then have more interruptions on top of that. So that's basically the end board that I'm looking into right now. If you start with the White Forest field spell and you're locked into darks, I'll go over more combos. If you guys want to leave a comment down below or like the video, of course, because you know we're still cooking with this deck. I'll come up with more like combos and maybe come up with a spreadsheet with this in the future. So I will only come up with a spreadsheet with this video or with this this particular deck if we can get up to 50 likes. If I can get up to 50 likes, I'll do a spreadsheet and start working on that, and we can start doing some combos and doing some more theory crafting. But until then, guys, have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.